A U.S. government source now tells Fox News the feds have interviewed a relative of the shooter's girlfriend. And we have just learned that in the 70s and 80s, this shooter worked as a letter carrier and an IRS agent separately for a total of about a decade. So what about this interview with the girlfriend's family? Our chief intelligence correspondent, Catherine Herridge, has that live in Washington. Catherine?
Thanks, Shep. I've been working on this information throughout the day with our Justice Department producer, Jake Gibson, and we've confirmed through a U.S. government source that federal investigators have interviewed an immediate relative of Paddock's girlfriend, Mary Lou Danley. This relative said to the FBI that they found Paddock unstable and that he made them uncomfortable. FBI officials declined to comment on this interview one way or the other to Fox News earlier today. Sources also tell Fox News the FBI ran Paddock through their federal databases, and they got no hits indicating ties to international terrorism. The FBI now has Paddock's electronics, and we're told it'll take a day or two to process them. The FBI statement yesterday indicating no connection at this time to terror was made before the full analysis of his electronics was complete, Shep.
Catherine, what do we know about the money that this murderer sent overseas prior to the massacre?
Well, federal law enforcement sources tell Fox News that investigators have discovered Paddock sent tens of thousands of dollars overseas, and they think it may have been to this girlfriend, Mary Lou Danley. But they're still investigating. They also think it was to the Philippines, but there's a lot of confusion over her location and whether, in fact, she is in Japan. In short, what we know is that he sent a lot of money, significant amounts of money, overseas before the shooting, and investigators are trying to determine for sure whether it went to this girlfriend or someone associated with her, Shep.
Catherine, there are a lot of gaps in the story of this man, and the authorities are telling us that it's so rare to have a shooting without a motive, something they haven't yet found.
Everyone I speak to about this case, Shep, talks about it as being sort of an anomaly, very sort of peculiar and unsettling, because you know from your experience covering these events that usually within 24 hours you have a fairly good sense of the shooter and a likely motivation because they at least have some kind of presence on social media or they've been on blogs writing about their point of view. But this guy is really a ghost when it comes to social media, and no one has come forward, at least in a very public way, to talk about what his motivation may have been or the ideology. But what's clear from the scope of the investigation, the locations, the firepower, the ammunition, all of these things we've been discussing for the last 24 hours, is that it took significant premeditation, right? It's just not something that you could throw together on short notice.
Not this, clearly.
Yeah.
Catherine, nice to talk with you. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet.